Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Physics Surgery. Today in AITS Select series, we are going to bring forward to you a question from the topic of modern physics, right, in subtopic of Bohr's model, wherein we are going to look at a very important concept in JEE Advanced. Time and again, they keep asking questions on this concept of collisions between subatomic species. Okay, right. So let's move ahead. So this is the formal wording of the question. In case you have not been part of this series before and you're watching this channel for the first time, I would request you to pause the video at this place, try to read the question and attempt it for 5 to 10 minutes and then come back and look at the solution. Rest of the people who have been part and parcel of this AITS Select series, this question has been already presented to you in the previous problem and you should have given it some thought and time. Okay, so here's the solution for it. So let me read the question for you first again, in case just to refresh you. A neutron collides with the stationary helium plus atom in a ground state. That's very important. Ground state is important there. And what should be the minimum value of energy of neutron in electron volt so that all types of collisions, elastic, inelastic and perfectly inelastic take place. So this is a slight twist in the question that we generally consider in the past. Okay, consider mass of helium plus atom is 4 times the mass of neutron. Okay, so this is the question. So the solution requires certain concepts that you need to be well aware of in Bohr's model. I have written down one by one. Bohr's model for single electron species of, let's say, helium plus or lithium 2 plus, these kind of things, we should be taking the energy levels based on Bohr's model as minus 13.6 electron volt divided by n square, where n is the quantum number of the state and the Z is the atomic number of the species. So for helium in this case, Z would be equal to, right, 2. Okay, and second important point, in an imperfect inelastic collision, that means E is less than 1 and also greater than 0. So it is neither a perfectly inelastic and not perfectly a elastic collision. So it's in between. Only a non-zero part of initial Ke in CM frame is stored in the system in some form after the collision. So just to recollect, perfectly elastic collision, Ke will be completely retained. Okay, so whereas in a perfectly inelastic collision, all the Ke in CM frame would be completely lost. Whereas this is an in-between case, so only part of the initial Ke, this is important, in the center of mass frame is going to be stored in the system after the collision. So it won't be retained back. Okay, so neither the Ke is completely lost nor is it completely conserved. It's somewhere in between. So this is a very important condition for that type of collision. Next, third important point is the calculation of that energy in the CM frame. So when you take any system in which a head-on collision is taking place between two objects, then the Ke in the CM frame initially is equal to half into reduced mass of the system multiplied by relative velocity square. Okay, so even if this capital M is moving, you can find out what is the relative velocity that should go in here. And this is a very simple calculation. I think you need to know what is the velocity of center of mass. VCM is m1 m2 plus m1 v1 plus m2 v2 divided by m1 plus m2. In that frame you can calculate this velocity, in that frame you can calculate, and then it's a big calculation. I think you should be remembering this, a very important formula even in collisions chapter. Okay, so the value of reduced mass is mm by m plus m, and in this simple problem, because this is stationary, relative velocity is simply u. So I've just substituted. And then if I write it in the terms of initial kinetic energy of neutron, because I think question is on this one's kinetic energy, not CM frame. So I separate half small m and u square out as Ke of small m. Then I end up remaining capital M divided by m plus m as the fraction. So this is the initial Ke in CM frame. If all of this is lost, then it is perfectly inelastic. If all of this is gained back, then it is the perfectly elastic. So I want only part of this to be lost. Okay, so then this energy will be partially lost in inelastic collision and the other two conditions that I already uttered right now. Okay, so these three conditions taken forward into the question. I'll write the energy states of helium plus ion with only single electron available in ground state, as you could see. And these numbers you can all calculate easily. Minus 54.4 is this, then minus 13.6, and the third level is minus 6.04. Simple calculations. What is more important is the difference in the energy levels. So 1 to 2 difference is 40.8, and 1 to 3 jump is a 48.36. Okay, so keep in mind these two numbers. Now the losable energy that I already calculated, which is half mu u relative square, can satisfy three conditions. Then three different type of collisions are possible. So let's read into that. Concentrate on the right side of the screen here. Okay, so if this losable energy is less than 40.8, what does that mean? That means there is not enough energy to even excite that electron to the second state, which is the nearest state. Then no excitation takes place. Then the system will not lose any of its kinetic, because if it only gets excited, then only it can store that energy in the form of excitation energy. Otherwise, the kinetic energy will remain intact. And then what type of collision? If kinetic energy is not consumed in some other form, it's called elastic collision. So for all values of this number less than even the first excitation energy, you will end up having this condition. Okay, keep that in mind. Now imagine I have that number, which is this number, greater than this but less than 48.36. Okay, so what is the importance of 48.36? If it's available, it could go to n equal to 3, but I'm keeping it lesser than that. Okay, chances of both e equal to 1 and e equal to 0 are possible. That means extreme situations are possible, he's saying. Let me give you examples. I think e equal to 1 is possible if, remember, every time the neutron is having energy more than 40.8 doesn't mean helium atom gets excited. In this world of quantum mechanics, excitation is a probabilistic idea. It is not certain. Okay, so one thing's for sure. In first case, if the energy is less than 40.8, definitely it won't get excited. But if energy is more than 40.8, it may or may not get excited. A very important point tested by IIT JEE Advanced many times. Okay, so greater than 40.8 ensures that it may not get excited, or it may get excited. So once it gets excited, what actually happens is all of that energy would be stored in the form of excitation energy. Then E equal to 0 is possible. There is no chance of part of this energy getting stored, because there are no more energy levels in between n equal to 1 and 2. So once your answer is more than 40.8 but less than 48.36, only these extreme possibilities are there, that partial absorption of energy is not available. That is where the trick in the question comes in. If the number now is more than 48.36, it's obvious that you get equal to 1. It's obvious you may get equal to 0 also, but now you have a chance. Let's suppose in one particular situation, the electron gets excited to this n equal to 3 state. Instead of getting completely de-excited, it actually de-excites to n equal to 2, let's suppose. That's the end scenario, let's suppose. In that end scenario, you can claim that whatever was supplied, it didn't regain it back, neither it lost it completely. It's partially absorbed. You supplied 48.36, but it retained only this much amount and gave it back this difference of 48.36 and 40.8. I hope you are able to understand. So excites, that is, there is a possibility of excitation to n equal to 3, and then de-excites to only n equal to 2. Then partial energy is stored, which means there is a possibility of E less than 1 type of collision. I'm saying there is a possibility, doesn't mean every time it can. So when you have energy greater than this is possible, and also this is possible. But if we, for this condition, E less than 1 is not possible. So our, out of all the collisions, see, question reads all collisions should be possible. I think my minimum energy should be at least this. What is that minimum? Losable energy. This should be greater than this. So I take that inequality seriously and then substitute that here. And remember, in the previous page, I got the fraction of that, capital M by M plus M, into KEI is equal to 48.36. I think capital M was 4 times small m. This is 4 by 5. Okay, then I take it that side. This would be 5 by 4 times of this number. So KEI minimum is 60.45. A surprising answer, because some of you would have stopped here and not gone to the third excitation. That is very important for E less than 1. So the required answer based on JEE guidelines, writing it up till second decimal place, would be 60.45 electron volt. Okay, so this is very important question, not been asked before, so you should be able to understand this concept. Okay, so I hope you thoroughly enjoyed, and are you ready for the next question in AITS Select series? So this is the one. Okay, so this would be the next video. I'll give you 1 or 2 days time for you to actually solve this question. This is from resonance AITS papers, the previous years, All India Test Series of Resonance Institute. So this is a very nice question on magnetic field. The current in a coil as shown in the figure is I, right? And there is center of all circular loops line points. There are many circular loops, as you could see, like this. Okay, right, and they're actually spread along an angle. So I'll leave the question to you. I don't want to spoil the experience for you. Just read as if it has appeared in exam. Try to make out what this diagram is talking about, and more than one correct might be there. Okay, so try your best. Try to solve only for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and then pause. And then if you don't get it, attempt it again after 3 or 4 hours. Don't try to sit on a question for 15-20 minutes at JEE advanced level. So please do understand that. Okay, so I hope you give this enough try. And if you are a new person in this particular series, there is a playlist in the description below, playlist link in the description below of this AITS Select series. So you can surf through the previous questions that you have missed out, and then you can rejuvenate your knowledge. Okay, so I hope you would be liking those things, and you would be joining us in the next journey of these questions, right? So we'll be bringing more and more exciting questions, try to cover up as many subtopics spread across our physics syllabus. Okay, so the usual stuff. If you like it, then share, subscribe to the channel, right? And try to get more subscribers so that we'll get more family going along the syllabus that we are going to discuss. Okay, so thank you, take care, and see you in the next video.